What up, you guys? Man, it's been a minute since I've done a video for you guys. How's everyone doing? I've been active. Well, I just got back from a trip like last week. I've been just busy. I've been active on Twitter and Discord, but I haven't really made a video, so it's kind of cool to be back on here. So I'm not really having any plans except going over the SPY. Very interesting setup here on SPY, and then also looking at a few big earning plays. So I've already kind of sneak peek here of all the stuff that's interesting. This is way more than what we can actually look at for the stream, so we'll pick a few. If you guys have any requests, let me know. We'll cover those first. But yeah, I'm excited to start making a game plan. There's already a few that are very interesting. I think DraftKings, surprisingly, I want to do puts. I know March Madness is all that. It's great, but I'll go into the thesis in a bit. And then AMD, I think that one's interesting. Uber and Sympathy as Lyft. I would be interested in playing Lyft just because it's beat up. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, and please hit the like button if you can. And we'll get started here. Honestly, Apple. So I guess maybe Apple's gonna be a big mover and is gonna dictate the market. I think that's the only big guy. Everything else was last week. Coinbase, Block, Shopify, all big ones that are interesting for sure. But the main thing I want to cover, or just give you guys an idea, is the economic stuff for this week. Really quick, just going to go over this. So I think a lot of volatility is coming back into play again. So if it wasn't for any of this economic news that we've got coming up, I would say, yo, SPY looks bullish. And the reason I say that is if you go out to a monthly level, the monthly closed green. And that's actually the first time that we've actually closed above previous month. So basically our last month was here 409. We're basically closing above. Every other month we've either closed at the same level or closed below. So this is like the beginning of a trend reversal, right? And if you look at that kind of like historically, if you get something like that, like for example here, finally closed above it, you kind of start changing. This is more obvious here. You're in a downtrend, and then so yeah, it looks very exciting for sure. But the thing that's just throwing everything into chop sideways is all the data that comes out, bank fears. And actually there's a lot of stuff going on with FRC, yeah, the FRC bank stuff. That'll probably clear out because I think JP Morgan or somebody's trying to buy them up for pennies. And yeah, that's kind of fucked up, kind of rigged, right? They wait for the thing to collapse so they can get it cheap. I mean, it's a big boy, big money play, I guess, big money move. They're not gonna buy it at the highs. They're gonna let it come down. So yeah, a lot of manipulation, bruh. But yeah, if it wasn't for like data coming up, I think on Monday and Tuesday we have data, and then Wednesday we've got the Fed stuff. So if it wasn't for any of that, I think we would hit like 420 just for the memes. There's like a gap there as well that we were trying to fill. Not sure if that's completely filled, so I think we do have upside to that. And then maybe here we get a pullback, maybe on earnings or something. But overall, it looks like it's starting to look more clear, like in an ascending triangle, basically. So just consolidating, making technically higher lows there too, because this was down here, the higher low here. I would be expecting maybe, a pullback wouldn't be bad, but this is daily time frame too, so it could be a minute. So yeah, that's just what it's looking like for me right now. For the month, we closed green, like I said, and it looks like the next resistance is like that 418, 420. So about 3 points, about 3 to 5 points still upside, if nothing gets bad, I guess. So let me show you those economic data, or this the time slot stuff really quick. Next week, there's ISM on Monday, like 30 minutes after open, and then here it is, ISM manufacturing. And then Tuesday we've got Jolt's job openings, and then on Wednesday we've got the big decision, Fed interest rate decision, so that's gonna be big, followed by Thursday Apple earnings. So historically I think we had a FOMC decision rate last time. It was like bearish, and then the next day we had earnings on a big company, and I think we flipped. So that could be the same thing. We could come down with the interest rate, and then on Thursday Apple just flips everything again, bullish. So yeah, just a lot of volatility, and just what I'm trying to learn is take my profits, because I be holding this shit too long and then they go red. So if you can learn anything from me, just take the profits when they're there. Yeah. So let's look at earnings. I think, anybody have any requests? If not, I'm gonna pick something randomly. I think I talked about this one on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you want, or you can join Discord. It's kind of active in there, in Twitter. That's why I haven't made videos. I just got back from Mexico. It was kind of lit. I was there for a week, so it was fun. But so far was nice. It's something I mentioned on Twitter, like I said, and they report before market opens. And so I guess we'll start with that one. So, and they just kind of like, so what I was going to say with SoFi, they just always beat for some reason. And they do like these nasty moves to the upside. So I feel like, well, not that one. They basically, they do moves, okay, for earnings. They do moves. If it's up or down, they do moves. They don't really chop it up. So this one was definitely one that I'd be interested. I didn't get any position I wanted to, but I was gonna get the $7 strikes for this week, but yeah, I didn't get in, unfortunately. But yeah, so they always beat, like, from a earnings perspective, you can see green, they always beat their earnings. The moves, most likely, they always go up or down big, and usually it's up. So I think, let's just zoom out a little bit. SoFi, I definitely wanted to do this one to the upside. But now since I said it's going to go up, it's most likely going to come down. But yeah, here we go. One earning here to the upside. One earning here to the upside. One earning here, downside. But it's still a move, right? It's still, you're still getting that. You're still catching that move. Like, so every time this thing reports, it's going to do a move. So this was just like pretty much straightforward play to do options either way. There's not like really a time when it just does earnings and then it stays still, basically. So it does earnings and it goes sideways. I think this one, I mean, up or down was one to definitely play. And yeah, just based off of like charts and stuff, we had like a consolidation phase, breakout, pullback, consolidated, breakdown, consolidated, and now we're trying to go back up. So I mean, if you want to not fight the trend, you would be bullish right now. And that's why I kind of targeted $7. By the way, we're going to do unusual flow and stuff. I have a link that I pinned. Did I pin it? No, I didn't pin it. Let me pin it really quick. But I have a link for unusual whales. You can sign up for free if you want, and then you can also upgrade. But we're going to use it to kind of get the implied move. So that's going to help us gauge how much the stock is expected to move. And so from options, from the unusual whales, you just go here too. They just updated their UI. And so you'll go to market data, earnings calendar there. But here you go to list view, or you can do weekly. Weekly kind of organizes things a little bit better by icons, but for if you want more details, go to the list view. And then go here to SoFi. We're going to get the expected move. So expected move here is, let me reset this to 100 actually. Is 12.7%. So we're gonna go back here to the daily, and we're just gonna do like a plus or minus 12%. So 12% is about $7. That's how I got that strike price. So if it does move the expected move, then those it would move up to about $7. To the downside, it'd come down to maybe like $5.50, something around there. So kind of like a dollar up, no, 50 cents up. I would say like 70. Let's just say a dollar up, dollar down. Okay. But yeah, this one should be interesting. The options for this, we'll use unusual whales just to get an idea of what they're actually going for real quick. SoFi. We'll go to the options chain here. We're gonna go to the 5/5s just to see where the open interest. So, there's just a lot of volume on both directions. What's this? The 5/5s. These are on the ask side. So that would be bearish technically because they're buying these most likely. And then to the upside, you got a lot of volume, way more volume on the $7 calls. Pretty decently on the ask side as well. I kind of want to lean bullish. So 29K, almost 30K plus 18K to the upside. And then you have about 29, about 30K. Yeah, so you have way more. Yo, what's up, Gustav? What stock are you buying, dog? Right now, I'm not actually in anything except I made some decent bread on Net Cloudflare. I caught the move down, so that was my last move, and then I bought some JP Morgan puts, but I think those are cooked because I think they're trying to get FRC buyout cheap, so I'm thinking that's a bullish move for it. Which, I mean, if you want to play JP Morgan, I would most likely be looking to play to the upside now, because if they do get that cheap bank. So what I was seeing here with JP Morgan was, I was thinking like basically the gap fills would kind of lure me in. It's a gap trap, I guess, but I was like really fiending on this gap trap. And then also was kind of looking at an inverse cup and handle. So once we would break this trend, then it would start making that lower cup, or this is the handle here. All right, this would be like a, you could say a pennant, and then it would break down, and then I would eventually get that gap fill. That's what I was looking at technically, but stocks do the opposite of what I want. So but yeah, that was basically my plan. It was like a cup handle breaking the support here, and then it would start forming the gap down here. But with that bullish catalyst, I think that I'm gonna have to cut those. They're basically cook all my puts on that. Looking at MGM. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good topic actually. MGM. They've been gassing. So you've been buying shares? I forget if you buy shares or options, my brother. I was gonna cover this. I was actually gonna cover DraftKings. So right now I'm setting up like an earnings play. So we were just looking at SoFi. I think that's a pretty straightforward bullish play. A lot of the bank withdrawals and stuff, I'm pretty sure people went to SoFi, because a lot of the new gen stuff, a lot of new gen people will most likely go to that. So I was thinking that's an easy play to the upside. Banks weren't as bad. Plus, I don't think they had many people leave SoFi. So yeah, I think that one's an easy play to the upside. But since I said that, most likely is going to come down. And then I did highlight MGM Resorts, and we also have Caesars, or Caesar, CSI, and then DraftKings. Out of the three, though, I'm more interested in DraftKings, honestly. I buy shares looking good. It isn't profitable yet. Okay. Yes, sir. It's not profitable. I'm going to sell Tesla and buy MGM. I think bought Tesla at 109. Jeez, you still up, though, on Tesla. You up like 60%. Yeah, Tesla's move was crazy this week, actually. It was like, did like a $10 move, I believe. I'm interested in getting puts on Tesla. So yeah, where is Tesla? Should we talk about Tesla, or should we talk about DraftKings? What you guys want? Tesla's in a very interesting point because basically what I was seeing is like basically a double top technically. Kind of a weird double top, but technically a double top. This is the neckline here, like right here. But now we have like a gap above and a gap below. This is what I would be targeting, like that 145, 150 area. So I'm actually waiting for it to kind of, I was gonna get puts on here, but I'm like, be patient, because you know they're gonna get you. If I get my puts here, they're gonna cook me and they're gonna run it up. So I was just gonna wait to see if this gets filled. After this gets filled, there's no more reason to keep going long on Tesla, I don't think. Then you can just play the downside. So I'm gonna be patient with Tesla, but I do like this one for downside. I just gotta wait a little bit. Yeah, two gaps. Those are definitely the things that are interesting on Tesla's chart. And then kind of like a, you could say double top or like lower highs. So maybe something around here. Gonna sell Tesla. Yeah, I think Tesla can hit 179. Depends on the FED. Fed. Oh, the Fed. Yeah, exactly, my brother. Yeah. So oh yeah, no. My impatient ass was gonna get the puts, but nah, I've lost too much money. I'm gonna be like, just wait on it. Right? I think Fed will pump it. No, I think Fed might dump it, and then Apple might save it. Or if it goes the other way, it's not gonna be two ways. I think if Fed dumps it, Apple's gonna pump it. If Fed pumps it, Apple's gonna dump it. I don't think it goes 100 to one direction. It'd be too easy, you know. Markets gotta make their profits. They gotta make the market makers. Let's talk about DraftKings though, because so we covered right now so far. If you guys are just tuning in, we just talked about SoFi, a little bit about Tesla, but Yeah, there's a lot of big plays this week. But I want to talk about DraftKings, and this will kind of bleed off into MGM Resorts and Caesars. My bro said that DraftKings is not profitable, and he's right. And the other thing about DraftKings is I'll be interested in playing this to the downside because, just hear me out here, we're basically trading. Previous earnings was down here. We were at like 17s. So we're trading higher than our previous earnings. And then if you look, this is our May earnings. So May is going to cover, I think, up to March. So March Madness is not covered in this earnings. So a lot of the playoff games, the big stuff where people bet money, I don't think that'll be on this report. So a lot of people might be hyped on, oh, they're going to smash earnings because all the NBA hype, all the states betting and stuff. But I don't think that goes into this one. I think that goes into August numbers, and I think that's when it's going to be bullish for DraftKings to play to the upside. And if you just kind of look at the history, in my opinion, so like 2022 May right here, you can actually see, so this is last year's, this period, they actually had a huge sell-off, okay? And then the March Madness happened, and then that's when they rip. So I'm basically just going off of that. The risk is to the upside because you're already like at 52-week highs. And so there's more reward down here. And then the numbers won't be included for this earnings till next quarter. And then you can see from history that May numbers, it sells off. So that's my thesis there. Let me know what you guys think. I love NBA and I love everything. I think it's nice, and I love DraftKings. I wish I would have got shares down here. So what I did, I bought DraftKings shares like at 20, and then I sold them when I was taking a loss at 17 or something. So I didn't go as far down, but I should have got back in, basically, is the lesson. So yeah, I think DraftKings, I'd be more interested in downside puts. Let's look at the implied move for DraftKings. I got your comment. Apple looking a little expensive, been crushing. Yeah, that's a monster though. You don't want to. For me personally, I don't trade Apple because they be killing it. Implied move is 10% on DraftKings. We can look at Apple in a bit though. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. We said 10% on DraftKings, so I think that's like $5. No, that's like $1. Yeah, that'd be like $1 move. That's not a big move. 10% would be down. Oh, it's like about. It's down to about $20, so about $2. Yeah, I'd be interested in doing puts on DraftKings actually. Let me look at DraftKings here. I'm definitely interested, but I'm going to be taking my time getting in a position here. Let's look at 505s. These are going to have the most open interest. So there's some decent open interest on the 16s. I don't think those are realistic. Then you have 10K up here on the 24s. If I was to get puts on DraftKings, I think it's on Thursday, right? So I would not be playing the weeklies. I'd be looking at 512s, honestly, I think. Just to have some more time. There's not, yeah. Actually, I don't know. Because Thursday, it's like basically 0 data left. So just go ahead and full port. No, don't full port, but and there's 16. There's a lot of open interest on 16s by Friday. And then the other ones are the 18.5s. I'd be interested in the 18.5s. And then the only other ones that are interesting are the 22s, but they're already very close to the money. I mean, we're basically there. And the 23.5s and the 24s. Those are the open interest. The 18s, I think. Oh yeah, how did I miss the 18s? The 18s and the 18.5s. I think that's legit. I think that would be the play. Lottos. But I personally will probably go a week out, or maybe even 2 weeks, 519s to have some decent time. There's a lot of open interest on these 17s, and there's a lot of open interest on 22s. When did this start picking up though? Let me look really quick. Open interest started picking up on these back here. What was it, like 57 cents? So they're up about 50%, 100%. And then these guys are about barely up. Big sell-off wick here at the end, 23K. Honestly, I'm more interested in the downside for DraftKings. Yeah. So, ignoring flow and everything, I would be interested on the downside here. MGM has a lot of debt. Yeah, they do. I guess mortgages on their hotels and stuff. That is gonna be an issue. Yeah, I think so. I forget what they did with their. They've always been in debt though. I think Caesars and Wynn and everything. They always have hella debt. Yeah, they have like 33 billion in debt, 6 billion in cash. They're what was I gonna look at? Let me look at their debt that's due this year. Let's look at that really quick. So current debt. So they owe 1.3 billion this at the end of the year, by the year, or basically this year. So current company debt needs to be paid within a year. Yeah, so 1.3 billion in debt. They've got enough to cover that. So they're not going bankrupt. But yeah, I think the mortgages maybe have, because that causes the interest rates to go up, right? The interest rates making them pay more. Where are they though? So somebody told me that banks, or not banks, hotels and stuff, they do, not hotels, these casinos, they do really good during the recession and stuff. Because people, I don't know, people are depressed, so they go gamble. Plus, there's also, the one thing I will say, like, recession might be here, but rich people are going to still be rich. Like Drake, Travis Scott, who else bets? NBA superstars, everybody, they're still going to have money. So it's not like the gambling's going to stop. People, like the wealthy, will still keep bringing in numbers, you know? So that's the only thing. Yeah, the gambling companies are very strong. Exactly. People gamble even if the economy's weak. Yeah, I mean, people got to get away from real life, I feel. Which I don't blame them, you know? Plus, like I said, the wealthy stays semi-wealthy still, so it's not like they're gonna stop. And it's addicting, bro. I mean, if you addicted to the stock market, I mean, yeah. Instead of me going to the casino, though, I just go to the stockbroker casino and just do it that way. I don't gotta drive nowhere. So MGM trading at the high, but it's also, I mean, I don't think this one will be an options play, honestly, just because I don't think it moves that much on earnings. They have been missing their earnings, though. Their earnings miss here. Earnings miss here. But let's look at the moves for those earnings. So on here, it gapped up. Okay, even though they missed, they moved up. Here, they moved down. Here, they moved up. So up, down, up. And then down. So down, up, down, up. So I would say down. What do you guys think? I'm just going off of, so May numbers. Yeah, I think the May numbers, let me double check. Yeah, at close was here. So they moved down. So that's when their downtrend started. They were basically running into earnings, and then they started on a downtrend. And like I said, I think just gambling stuff, I think their first quarter is not that good. You can see, we saw that basically on DraftKings, and we saw that on right here on MGM. They basically sold off. So if I just had to go off of that, I think the gambling numbers might be good, but the stock's going to go down, I think. And then the big number would be next quarter. I would be looking at gambling stocks next quarter. DraftKings play into the upside, maybe this one to the upside. I think people maybe just be pumping this to get out before earnings. Just my opinion, though. Let's look at a few other stocks really quick. Anybody have any other questions? We chilling right now. If you guys just joined, please drop a like. We're just hanging out. I think we did pretty good so far. SoFi, DraftKings for sure. I'm going to remove these arrows because we're not really going to follow MGM. We're just going to follow DraftKings. So the ones that we covered is SoFi and DraftKings for sure. And then what do we get? Uber. Oh, Uber and Lyft will be interesting for sure, I think. So the reason I would like Lyft is they did like workforce cut. They just like cut 25% of their staff for better earnings, and I think so they can do better competitive prices. But I like this one because you're getting it near the gutter, basically. It's like near the bottom. Plus, okay, so the thing with Uber and Lyft, and basically airplanes and like traveling stocks, we're coming into summer, so I think a lot of that, I think their guidance is still going to be good. I think United Airlines did good for earnings. Yeah, they did good for earnings. And then, so yeah, I think like this summer queue, whatever queue you want to call it, their guidance should be they should be decent. People are still gonna go out. Maybe it's the last vacation before recession, you know, so maybe people want to go and enjoy their final moments before we all go into depression. But yeah, I think travel stocks will be good. So when you fly, you got to take an Uber. So business is going to be booming. And also gas prices have been coming down a bit. So I think that's going to push the activity for Uber drivers, like the incentive. Like they'll be making more money. So that's going to ramp up their workforce or whatever. So that's my point of view though. Plus, you can see it on United Airlines. They gapped up on earnings. What was the other one? And American Airlines. Let's see what they did. Earnings. They gapped up. Yeah, they moved up. What's the last one? United Delta Airlines. Yeah, Delta. I mean, they still went on an uptrend, but they didn't do nothing decent. GGG Investor. I don't know how that got in there. Yeah. Okay. So the thing with Uber, and I've got Flow to go with this one, I would be interested in playing it to the upside, but I would play it through Lyft because it's got more upside potential than Uber. Because I mean, Uber technically is trading lower than its last earnings. So last earnings was here and it gapped up, and then they shorted it. But we're basically trading a lot lower than their last earnings. Plus, going into their next quarter, they could say surprise guidance up, you know, maintain their guidance or upbeat their guidance or something. Still technically in a downtrend, but yeah, very strong push into Friday, basically. And what was the other one? Oh yeah. So the flow with this one, there's actually flow with this one. Okay, let me show you really quick. Uber. So not all flow is gonna be bullish. Not like all call volume is bullish, not all put volume is bearish. And so there's some flow that came in on Friday, the 428, is that Friday? That Friday, and then also 27th. Basically what they're doing is what it looks like, what we're assuming here is not like confirmed, but it looks like they're selling puts for this week, the 29 puts, the 28th and the 27th. Like they basically collected 500K in premium, 430 in premium, all that. And so they're basically not expecting any downside to these numbers, is what I would assume, right? So going into earnings, they might either expect some, what would you say, sideways action. Let me clear this really quick because it got messy real fast. But basically from 29, let me mark that out. 29, where are we at? Like down here. Basically they started selling puts, right? So if they're selling puts down here, that means that they don't expect the stock to come underneath, because then they would have to pay out. So what they're doing is they're collecting money down here, and they're going to keep the stock floating above this level, I think. So earnings is not a sure move to the upside, but I think they're going to try to pin it above 29 to be able to keep that money that they collected. That's my opinion. That's how I kind of read that. And then the expected move for this, UBER for Uber's anticipated move, 9.4%. So if it does move, the implied move that's projected, it would be back up to about $34, down to, what was it, 9? Was it 9%? I just forgot. Yeah, 9.4. Okay. So yeah, $34 to the upside. Damn, I'm dumb as hell, huh? I forgot the number that quick. 28. So about $3 up or down. But just kind of based off of the flow that I saw, it looks like they'll try to keep it above 29 just so they can collect that money. So that's my opinion. But that doesn't guarantee it's going to go up to 34. That just means I'm most likely thinking they'll keep it above. That's why I'd be more interested in playing Lyft, because its beat down is like near its 52-week low. And if they say something with their roadmap or anything about just their workforce and price competitive pricing, I mean, this thing could start moving up higher. All right, let's look at the implied move for Lyft really quick. Or yeah, it's 16.5%, so it's gonna move a lot more. It's what it looks, not dollar wise, but percentage wise. So 16 would be back up to 12. So yeah, kind of to like this level up here. To the downside, it'd be somewhere, what was it, 16%? Down to the 52-week low. Yeah, down here. So that's the level that maybe like $8.50, $9 or $12. So about $2 up, $2 down. But yeah, this one I would be interested. This one will most likely be a share play, I think, because then you can sell after hours if it goes bad. That's my opinion though. But yeah, that's my plan. Travel stuff was good this quarter. United Airlines, Delta, and all that. People are gonna go into vacation regardless. And also, you guys can kind of get an idea of what's going on with vacation and shit by reading or following Norwegian Cruise Line. And then there's a few other ones, the Royal Caribbean. So you could follow those if you want. But we kind of got a good idea based off United Airlines and that. What do you guys think? Everybody's hella quiet right now. That's my plan for those. SoFi I think is good, like I said. So Lyft would be the play, I think. And I'll think shares. So puts, maybe calls, and then SoFi I think is good, so calls. And you can play Uber too if you want. How you guys feeling? Dang. Yeah, we're chilling right now. We're on good time. What do we got? 30 minutes? We're gonna try to keep this like an hour stream. We haven't talked about the big boy, Apple. I guess we should cover that. It's just with Apple, I hate talking about Apple because one of the most popular stocks and you can't even really do anything with it. I kind of already knew we were going to come up here. Like, it's pretty much like an auto buy for the market. They always buy it up. It's one of the biggest companies in the market, and the S&P is just, it goes up. And we were in an uptrend basically. We've had this uptrend here. So yeah, up, pull back up. One interesting thing is the inverse head and shoulders that we have kind of pointed out here. This could be the neckline, or this could be the neckline. It looks like it's more appropriate to say this is the neckline, and it's already broke. So the distance for that, I'm thinking eventually, right, at some point the pattern completion would be like kind of to like the highs would be like 175. So we still have upside, I think. If that's conservatively. We could also say from the neckline to that, then you would be talking about 190, which would be all-time highs for this thing. Yeah, so maybe hit all-time highs and then get rejected there. Regardless, the trend is your friend, my friend. So going long, it's just had a big run right now. So yeah, I would say this is that neckline. We've kind of had this marked out for a while. I've had it marked out for a while. There. And then bounced off of the trend there. So we're on track, I think. There's a gap up here that they're trying to fill. 172. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? But yeah, this one's ridiculous. I will say one thing kind of sus is maybe it's starting to do a pennant. I don't know. The trend is your friend, my friend, but it is looking like a pennant. You see that kind of like a pennant? Let's just adjust that. There we go. And change the color. Let me see if you see the vision with me, brother. So it's like a pennant. So if it's not an inverse head and shoulders, then it's an ascending pennant, which is a bearish pattern. So it would be like kind of like this. And then somewhere here would break down. And then be GG. What do you guys think? Did I not change this color? I thought I changed it. Yeah. So that's two scenarios with it. I just, honestly, my lesson is stay away from Apple. Because and I've learned it through NVIDIA. Just stay away from them. Because they're gonna squeeze you. They're gonna short you. It's just not the stock for me, honestly. But yeah, ascending wedge. We could have a small pullback going into earnings, and then it could gap up post earnings. And then it would have, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's kind of saying it out loud. Let's just say we sell off into Fed earnings and all that, and then Apple beats, it goes up higher. People get excited, but then the market sells the top, right? That would make a lot of sense, my brother. Yeah. That's a good one. Okay, I'm going to follow Apple now. Thanks for mentioning it, bringing it up. I'm going to follow for the break of this wedge, if it is a wedge. That's pretty smart, I think. Dang, I gotta pat myself on the back for that one. But that's a good one. I'm gonna add that, actually. We're gonna mention that as a good one. Watch Apple post earnings, I think. So, okay, and that makes sense because the last earnings, I don't know if you guys remember, but a lot of people got cooked on their premium. Basically, it was supposed to move down and up. No, it was supposed to go up, but it was supposed to go down, but I don't have the after hours on here, but basically they cooked premium, and then the next day is when they did the moves. So I wouldn't play Apple earnings. Plus, let's just say, for example, it does move on, which I'm thinking is most likely going to go to the upside, Apple. People are going to get hyped on it, but then market's going to sell it off. That's my plan. That's my idea. But even let's just say on earnings, it moves down and it starts trending. Like, this is a big move, right? Oh, I didn't catch the move. But really, you still have, like, a lot of potential here. Like, you still have a bigger move to catch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once you break the trend, it's going to be multi-day down days, I think. It's not like in the same day, but it's going to be a change in trend, I think. So, just because you missed the first day doesn't mean there won't be more opportunity to the downside. This thing's been going up for, like, a long ass time, since the beginning of the year. So rewards to the downside is just you got to be patient. So if you're eager to play the downside before earnings, it's kind of risky because they can gap you up, kill premium, and then they sell it off. And then by the time they bring it back down to your price, you're basically still down on your options or basically break even. So I would just wait for earnings and then catch that opposite move. If it gaps up, I would be interested in moving it to the downside. If it goes down, I would be interested in going to the upside. What do you guys think? Damn, I think a lot of people left on this stream. But yeah, we're just kind of speaking, we're just talking out loud. The other one I'm interested in is this one right here called AMD. Have you guys heard about it? AMD. And basically the play on this is going to be upside, I think. So we got AMD and Qualcomm, and basically, I think Texas Instrument, well, Intel, they reported pretty good earnings. Yeah, they gapped up on earnings. So I don't know if that's like just an outlier, but they did good. And then I think Texas, they gapped down, but then they recovered. They gapped down and then they recovered, but they beat on earnings, right? The thing with Texas though, this one was kind of holding its price level. Like it was kind of holding its price level for however long, where AMD has actually been selling off. So AMD's been selling off. It's just now like breaking its downtrend. I got in this one way too early. Excuse me. Yeah, I got in AMD like up here. I had to cut that shit because they were shorting me, so I had to close my position for a loss. But now it looks like it's finally, basically I was getting ahead of myself. Basically I was thinking, so I had my trend like here. I can't remember how my trend was, but basically my trend was here. So that's when I got my calls. I got antsy, impatient or whatever, and I started getting calls here. Like, excuse me, I had peanuts as a snack, so that was embarrassing. Anyway, okay, so yeah, I started getting calls here because I was following this trend. I was like, okay, at this, algo's got to step in and start buying it. We're gonna break the trend. It's gonna do that next leg. So, because basically what I was going off of was this, something like a downtrend, break the trend, and then a huge move. Basically, you know, textbook stuff. You know, break the trend, go higher. That's what I was basically trying to get ahead of, and that's why I'm saying just kind of be patient, because I'm impatient and I get burned. So now it's like trying to break the trend. So now it's looking a lot more promising because it kind of found this like nice little round bottom, and it's trying to break the trend. I think it's interesting now to the upside. Oh, and so but based off earnings, basically it's been going sell off, sell off, sell off downtrend. It's basically gone from 100 to like 85, I think. So like 15%. Is that 15% or a little bit more? About 15%. So now it's basically retracing itself. I think you could still technically extend this trend. If it gets back up above there, you can see it kind of went to that wick. If it can get above this trend, so basically let's just say 90. Let me just mark that on the line here. It'd be like here, 89, 90. I'll just say 90. If it can get back in the 90 range, then it's gonna be back in this ascending trend. And then a lot of the shorts down here will most likely start panicking, and then it can start going up higher. So AMD, I think it's definitely one to look to the upside, just because of Intel. And then Texas Instrument, I think they reported good. The move wasn't positive, but they still reported green, I think. And then you also have NXP, so you could watch that one going into earnings. So this is like a semiconductor one. You could watch that one and then play AMD. It's just more data basically. So you have Texas, Intel, and then now you have NXP. And so with those 3 data points, now you can kind of base your stuff off for AMD, because Nvidia won't be up till like way later down the road. So AMD is the play, but direction I would say upside. Just my opinion though. Oh yeah, and the puts or the calls that I got down here, they're basically break even right now, because I got the 519s, I got the 95 519s. They're basically break even when I got them. If I would have just held them, I would have not lost, would have not taken an L with that one. But yeah, so did I help in anything with this one? No, I didn't really help. Let me show you implied move, I guess. 7.3% for AMD. Somewhere from here to 7%. About going back to $95, $96. Downside, back to the 83 range. So kind of our levels here. Kind of this area of consolidation, this concentrated area of support here, and then this area of concentration up here. I feel it. I would be leaning more bullish though, because like I said, it's been selling off for like almost 2 months. MACD's finally cooling off. Bullish momentum's starting to pick up finally. This kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulders too, so I don't know. Yeah, I like AMD to the upside. Plus, it's like one of the better semis. If you're gonna buy a semi, I would buy Nvidia or AMD. Yeah, so break the trend. Let's do a yeah. That's how it is with that one, I think. That's how I feel, and then you can play Qualcomm based off of that. But Qualcomm I like because they're near the lows also. So supposedly this earnings was supposed to be the recession earnings, but it might not be till the next earnings, I don't think. One thing on here though that I've got pointed out is a head and shoulders pattern. There's a head and shoulders pattern, or you could say it's a ascending triangle. So if it's an ascending triangle and it looks like it's getting back inside that trend, it could go back up to 127. This is the daily though, so don't get weeklies expecting it to print, because they'll expire worthless. Down here you have a gap fill, so down here is like to $93, $94. There's a gap fill right here. That it could be a gap and trap, so a lot of people are going to get hyped on a gap, so start shorting it, and then maybe that's when the market kicks in and flips it and just rallies it up. So I would see if it can hold above this ascending trend again, then it'd be bullish. But if it fails to stay above, what is it, like 117? Yeah, if it can't hold above here, and again it kind of depends on the market, and you'll have AMD earnings also kind of, but this one would be more interesting for upside, I think. Yeah, and this would be a share play, because I don't think this really moves that much, honestly. For earnings, it doesn't really move what, like it's not option play. It's not an option play. So here's the last one. Thursday at close. So it closed here at 135, and then it opened $4 down, and then here on Wednesday on close. So basically it was sold off from 118, closed at 112, and then it opened $8 down. So that's actually a decent move. Let's see the May move actually though. Just curious. The May move is basically upside. Ooh, interesting. So upside, and then you have July downside, then you have upside, top. So maybe upside. I would say upside. Yeah. But I would wait for that one, honestly. Oh, Fastly was okay. So Fastly would be interesting too. So I think we're done with the Qualcomm semis. Let me delete these guys really quick. No, we're keeping AMD. So these are the main ones we're playing. Or you could play SoFi. These are the main ones I'm interested in. SoFi, AMD, Lyft, DraftKings, and what was the other one? That's it, I think. I would be interested in Fastly though. I think this is like the software network stuff, kind of like Net. And they did a big move for earnings. This is how I made like 1,000% gainer. It was like 1,300% actually, and I sold at the bottom surprisingly. God's been helping me out. So this is a software network stuff, cloud-based services for secure websites. And Fastly, I think it's something similar. Real-time content delivery network services, edge compute, delivery, security, edge applications. So I want to say this one would be interesting for puts. The only thing is the chart's still kind of bullish, so you gotta like holding this trend. So when does it report? Is it on Wednesday? It's on Wednesday, right? Yeah, so it could be like Monday, Tuesday, it could, since it bounced off the trend, it could be going back up to $15, $16. And then I would most likely be interested in some puts, I think. Maybe down to like 13 bucks. What's the implied move for this one really quick? Let's see. What did I say? It's FSLY. 13.8%. So it would be, let's just say it goes back up to 15 or 16 bucks. Where's it at right now? 15, 14? And then it's going to go down 13 bucks, 13%. So about 13 and a half. But this one could be a surprise mover. It could like move higher than it implied. So like example, NET was expected to move like 10 or 12%, and it moved 25%. So I'm going to be watching this one just in case it does do something crazy. But yeah, and I don't think, so I was going to check their financials just a little bit. So $14 stock, 1.85 billion, short interest, about 10%. Forward P, insane. Like they're pricing in a lot of growth and stuff. And more debt than cash. If anything, this would be a buyout candidate. I think I've made a video on this one time. But yeah, I like this one for downside actually. So I would be interested in Fastly to the downside. I think we should start looking at some options for stuff, right? Probably look at options. So what I'm gonna do is do FSLY, and then we'll kind of circle back around to some of the other options that I think are interesting. No trades. Okay. So this one basically lost a lot of $14, $15 calls. Nothing really too interesting. Let me do like 5K. What do you guys think? 5K, and we can clean up a lot of the small stuff. So there's a lot more puts being sold based off like the fill. But everything's like small. It's like 10K, 19K. I don't know if flow will actually help much, honestly. Plus, one thing I've realized recently, like the flow has been a lot of hedging. So when there's like a lot of puts coming in, it's the opposite. So just my personal experience. There's a few you can catch where it's like a put is actually like a big downside move. But it feels like they've been hedging a lot lately. Not gonna lie to you. For this week, for this week, there's not really that much open interest anywhere. Like in the 300s, everything's in the 300s. Yeah, there's nothing on flow for Fastly. It's kind of like a penny stock, so I would still be interested in playing this, but I'm gonna wait closer to Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, so that was kind of a bust, actually. I thought it would be interesting. Sunrun is one that I'm interested in playing to the downside for sure. Not 100% like, but I do like it because it's like basically like in an upward channel, but it's still possibly a bear flag. And then the reason I would play this to the downside is because basically end phase moved down on earnings, and then you had what was the other one? Pfizer or First Solar. This one got down, so a lot of energy stuff was being dropped. Damn, yeah, you can see this huge consolidation breakout, nasty, and then you have a head and shoulders triple top. Man, everything's kind of hindsight, right? Once you see it happen, then you're like, damn, it's an easy play. Even, yeah. But I think, what's his face? Run? I think this one might go down. I think. Basically what this is basically a bear flag here, but we also say, head and shoulders, retest of the head and shoulders, and then fully break down. And I've showed that with some of the other stocks. What was the one that I was mentioning a while ago? It was Plug. Yeah, Plug stock. This one, yeah, here we go. See, I've had it charted up. It was a head and shoulders, retouch, rejection, and then full breakdown. And this is now like a $9 stock. We were like at 15. So it could be something like that. The only thing is earnings, man, they're always 50-50. But I think a lot of the energy plays, they're coming down to reality. So a lot of these are coming down in price. Let me look at Run just to get an idea of their financials, because I can't remember if they're overvalued or not. 4.5 billion. They're bringing in 2 billion a year, so that's not bad actually. They do have a lot of forward PE. That's pretty expensive. Oh no, 8 billion in debt. Holy, yeah, that one's coming down, I think. Let me look at their debt. Like, when does it due? 185 million. So they don't really have debt due. Wait, let me double check. Is the quarterly? That's the annually. Let's go to quarterly. Quarterly current debt. Nah, they're chilling. So they don't have a lot of debt due, but they do have a lot of debt in general. And their margins are pretty ass, like 12%. I would definitely be interested in seeing this. And actually, to follow up with this one, there was some flow that came in on this one that was bearish way like a while ago. So let me show you really quick. Do I have my filter applied? Yeah, there's like 19 puts for 519. There was the 20s for this week. 339k. Nasty, bro. So yeah, this one's easy, I think, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but I'm gonna definitely throw a little bit of money at her. See if she can break down. If she follows the head and shoulders and she follows the other energy plays, this one should move. Let's look at the implied move for it. I think it's only like $2, 13%. So this one would be like, okay, let me see, 13%. 13%, so about $2 or $3, so $18. But one thing I want to kind of point out, we're in this bear flag, right? We could hit like that top range one more time, like 22, and then start selling off. So sometimes when I like a bear flag, it does 3 pumps, like 1, 2, and then one more, and then it comes down. So I'm not going to get the puts like on Monday right off the back, but I would be looking for some upside to 22 and then, or even 20, what is this? 2180, and then maybe be interested in some puts, I think. By the way, not financial advice, because not trying to get sued here. I'll be losing money just like everybody else. So yeah, Sunrun for sure, I think, though, is interesting. Anybody have questions? We haven't even talked about the big boys here, Shopify, Block, and Coin. I think Coin's going to be a dud. It's going to be a premium steal. just my opinion. So I don't even know if I want to talk about it. It's not gonna move. I don't think so. Anybody have questions? You guys want me to talk about AMC? If you guys can, drop a like if you guys learned anything. Appreciate the help. Chegg. Oh, maybe we should talk about Chegg. So I've got a few minutes left. I was trying to keep it under an hour. Unless people were kind of active, we could go longer, but it's been kind of quiet, so not much. There's a few other stocks I would love to talk about, but I haven't really seen any interaction or any activity, so I might not see any interest in any stocks. What was I gonna say? Chegg. Here's Chegg. Oh, someone dropped a like for me. Thank you. Appreciate it. And if you have any questions or any requests, let me know. Chegg is kind of interesting because I kind of grew up using Chegg, and now it's like a $17 stock. I never knew, back when I was doing the Chegg stuff, I didn't know they even had a stock. I was just using their service. Do you guys think this one would get bought out? It's like near the bottom. What's their revenue? I just think it's a dead service, especially with AI. I mean, everybody's basically not needing AI or Chegg anymore. Basically Google most of everything. So I think they're like a dying software, honestly. Or a service, not software, but service. Chegg, $18 stock, 2.1 billion. Yeah, 10% of the outstanding shares is shorted. A lot of people bearish on it. And then you've got not even $1 billion in a year. So in the last 12 months, they've only brought in $7,600 million. Valuation's decent. It's not. They've got just about as much cash as debt. Their margins are good, 74%, but I don't think they're profitable. Oh, they are profitable. They're earning $1.34. Okay. How do you guys feel about Chegg? You guys think it's gonna be here in a few years? Or you think it's dead? It might not be an interesting play, honestly. For earnings, it does move a lot. So this last earnings was a mover. Last earnings was a mover. Even this one was a decent mover. So that's why I'm interested in playing it. Because it's definitely a mover for earnings. You can make some money on options. I mean, just which way do you play it though? Because honestly, I would say downside. But it's near its like low level. It's never been down here this low. There's more reward up here, right? But for that to happen, they would have to like announce something really good. They do beat on their earnings a lot, but that doesn't matter because they still come down. So I don't even know if earnings is that important for them. Like the earnings is going to be the earnings. The move is going to be different. Earnings beat, they moved up. Earnings beat, they moved down. Let me look at implied moves this earnings really quick. Chegg. Oh, they don't got it? Did I not spell it right? They don't have Chegg on here, brother? Chegg. No, they don't have Chegg. Oh, wow. That's alright. We can do a workaround really quick. We're going to go to Market Chameleon, and we'll take a look at the last quarter's implied move. We're going to go earnings, and we're going to go implied moves in IB. So earnings going into post-earnings move it moves 67% of the time. Yeah, most of the time you're gonna get a nice move. The predicted move after earnings announcements was 17% move. That was the anticipated implied move, 17%. It actually moved about 16%. So let's just say it does about 15% move from here. We'd be looking at. You guys be interested in playing this to the upside? Ooh, maybe the $15 puts would be interesting. 15% up would be 220. So about $3 move. Let's look at options really quick on this. See if there's anything sus going on with Chegg. They do report Mondays, so the weeklies. Oh, they don't have weeklies. Ooh, look at this. Decent 17s and a halves. And then most of the volume's on the put side. The 12s and a halves. Ooh. Have these been here for a while? When did they pick up? So somebody picked up like 1800 at 30 cents. They're basically worthless right now. I don't think we come down to 12, honestly. So they started picking them up at 30 cents. Just for them to break even, they would have to close at 12.20 just to break even if they bought them at like 30 cents. So I don't know if those, I mean, unless this thing goes bankrupt. Yeah, I don't think the 12 and a half, the 17s, let's look at the 17 and a half. Those have more, and we'd be getting, they bought them at the ask too. 500 in volume, yeah, puts. Did it come down? Oh yeah, I think, where's the, yeah, look. So Friday, they had 500 in volume. So normally this thing has only about 27 to like 50. And then big volume came in on Friday. It's not a lot of money, but it's like 20K, 16K, 6K came in at the ask. So it implies that people are buying the puts. I'm curious to see when the OI increased here at 4,400. So they bought them at $2. They're down about 50%. These are interesting for sure. I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna get a couple of these 17 and a halves. Yeah, I think so. There's more open interest on the puts, and they're still kind of decent. There's not that much open interest on that. Let's go to June to see if there's anything. Not really anything on June. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the puts for this one. Let me look at earnings really quick. So reported 40 cents, 200. They beat on both, but they still moved down. Yeah, I think Chegg would be interesting to the downside. My bad. This one's kind of a surprise one. I think it'd be interesting to watch, just to see how that volume carries over. So I think that's what I got. You guys have any questions? Pfizer I think is interesting for upside, but it'd be like a share play. I have Pfizer shares for the dividend. Obviously, they're a slow mover, so I would not look at options. Should we cover Shopify and Block and Coin? Do you guys want me to talk about these? Let me know. If not, we'll leave those for the birds. I think those are all the interesting ones, actually. We can do one. We can do like Shopify. I think Shopify would be interesting to play pre-earnings and then sell after earnings. Actually, I've talked about this one. Yeah, so this looks like an uptrend, kind of like a wedge. It's just been bouncing back and forth. So basically up and down, up and down. I think it could run into earnings, but I would not play this one post earnings just because earnings are 50-50, honestly. Let's look at shops. 10% move, so that would be like $5. Like, let's just say they go up to 50. 10% move would be $5. So yeah, about 44 and then 55, I would think. So 10% move. With this one, I do have flow from a while ago. Actually, I posted it on Twitter. You guys should follow me on Twitter. I posted some flow a while ago on a lot of the $5.19, $50 calls. They're not showing up anymore, but they were in here some while ago. Let me cut this down. So there was a here we go. 48 calls for this week. How much are these up now? Are these up? They came in on the 27th. So they're up a little bit. On average, they paid like $230 and they're up at $250 now. So they're up a little bit. I guess they're holding into earnings. There was like the $50 calls. Here's the 100K order that I saw. They actually, I think, got them in way early, like at pretty expensive on the 24th. Down here. So down here, wow, if I can get this going. 24th, yeah. Is that right? The 24th? Yeah, on the 24th at $3. So I think they're down actually right now. Yeah, they're down. They're not down too much. What are they down? Like, let's just do 3 divided by 236. So they're down about, oh wait. They're down about 22%. They're down about 20% on the 50 calls for these 19s. Oh, they've got plenty of time. Yeah. So yeah, I think they're still in there. And let me double check. Look at the open interest. Where's it at? Open interest is at, is this the right one? Open interest is still at 800. They came in the right one. It's looking like the light. It's looking like the right. No, this is a different one. Was I looking at the right one, or was I looking at the wrong one? Ah, here we go. The 5019s. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, open interest has still been kind of going up from 14 back up to 16. Did have a high of like 20k open interest. Eesh. But they've stayed pretty consistent at $2, $3. They've stayed consistent, so money's still in there, I think. Yeah, I think those are the only ones I saw. The 519s, 5519s. Let's look at the actual breakdown of Shopify, like just the chain, and see what's going on here. We're gonna look at 505s and see there's a decent volume on those 45s. They were, looks to appear, came on the bid side, so most likely selling them. And then you have about 1500 that came in, about half and half bid and ask. Let's look at the 19s that we're talking about. Yeah, see the 19s that have 16k up here, bro. That's just crazy. And none of the other chains have that much open interest. So the 50s, I think, are the $50 range is going to definitely be something to watch. Right now, I think we're like 48. So this one I've kind of been talking a little bit, like I said, on Twitter. It did hold this ascending support. So if markets are chill, we're going to most likely retest that 50 going into earnings. But unless you got like the risk tolerance, I mean, you could go up to 55 post earnings, or you could move back down. I think going into earnings, we'll probably trade around 50 and then do a 5% move up or down. That's my idea with that one, I think. So I think, let me know if you have any questions, guys. I think that's about it. I'm going to recap SPY really quick. Or actually, let me do QQQ because that's tech. And this is just brutal, honestly. We've had an uptrend, huge consolidation phase here. Right? And oh, let me talk about this actually, because this right here looks like a bear trap for me. Like, it broke down, it got a lot of people hyped on it, and now the algos are buying stuff up. This actually happened with Coinbase one time also. Oh no, I kind of used the same example, but yeah, we were in a consolidation phase, broke down, got the shorts involved, and then it gapped up. So, and I think, did Roku do the same thing? I think Roku was trying to do something similar, but nah. This one, it kind of did. I mean, you had a little consolidation break, and then it came back up. So that's, I'm not surprised. The market's kind of rigged. So I've been learning to not trust it. But yeah, see, like this short, I was not trusting it. And now we're breaking up. So if it does that coin move, I've always said we're going back up to 334 because we basically had what was a bull flag down here. Right here we had like a bull flag. And then you also had, what was it? Maybe was it inverse head and shoulders here? Yeah, I think it was an inverse. So the charts are bullish. It's just the data that's throwing everything off, I think. And the only other thing I would be afraid of is that sell in May and go away kind of thing. And since we're trading near the highs, people might just sell in May and just step away from the market. So since we're, I mean, because you wouldn't want to sell down here near the lows for a loss in May. But if you're up on going into May and you're up, there's more incentive for you to sell because you're making money. Step away from the market for a while. and then step back in cheaper and you made money, you know? But if you're like going into May at the lows, at that point you might as well hodl, you know, because you're down already, down bad. But yeah, I think, man, I just got rid of all my. It's alright. I think people might sell going into May. That's the only thing I'd be afraid of. The chart looks bullish. We got that flag. Breaking out consolidation, false break, trap the bears, and now we're going higher. 334 is like the target. There's maybe, and it could be like maybe the first week of May we're bullish, get that high, and then, because I think May works in a way where it's like half bearish, half bullish. Maybe the first week and a half we're bullish. And again, a lot of this depends on earnings and the Fed, but just kind of like, if you look back to like 2022 May, what was it? I'm just kind of, where's May at? I think May's right here. So May, yeah, first week, first 3 days we were bullish and then sold off. And then you got a relief and you sold off. So yeah, May is usually bearish. You get like half of the month bullish where it's like straight. Yeah, exactly. Oh fuck, I'm messing that one up. But yeah, so look, first half of the month was bearish, and then you gained all that loss in like last week of May. So first week of the month, last week of the month is bullish. Everything in between is bearish. Interesting, huh? So maybe that's what happens here going into 2023. They say history repeats itself. So maybe we get that first week bullish, and then we start selling off. People sell off going into May, and then we get that next bounce back up to 313 or something. I don't know. We're just talking out loud, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like, support the channel if you can, and you can check out my affiliate links down below. For unusual whales, you can sign up for free. You can, if you use my code, you'll get 5% if you eventually do a an upgrade for one of the paid tiers, but you can just make a free account and get the free features. And I hope you guys found value. We've got a pretty good amount of coverage on some of the earnings. Just to recap, we've got SoFi that I'm interested in. Chegg was a surprise add-on. I might just watch. AMD, I like it as well. Sunrun, I think. So my plays that I'll most likely throw some money at, it's Sunrun for sure. DraftKings, I think for sure puts. And I'm debating Chegg, but these two for sure I'm most likely going to play. I kind of like those because of Enphase, right? And for solar, and then DraftKings betting, I think that's a easy dub. And then Lyft, I think too would be interesting. But I think Lyft would be shares, so I can sell off after hours. Yeah, I think that's about what I have for you guys. What do you guys have? Oh, and SoFi, I was going to get calls, but I had some stuff come up, so. Man, I feel bad because people are just tuning in. Does anybody have questions before I log off? I'm about to grab some food, I think. Enjoy the, we got the NBA playoffs tonight. Nuggets and what's his face? The Denver Nuggets and, fuck, oh, the Suns, yeah. Game 1 tonight. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and AMC, my apes out there. I just not get involved with it, honestly. Oh, Shopify would be interesting. Pre-earnings. Yeah. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and you guys stay vigilant and take profits when you see it. I'll see you guys in the next one, and subscribe if you guys want to see the next live stream. Okay, peace.